So, I thought it would be fun to do something a little different. Instead of a top 5, how about a top 10 of my favorite all-time Batman films, but this is including live action and animated movies. So let's jump right into it. Coming in at number 10, Batman Beyond: The Return of the Joker, which, as you can see, this is a part of a double feature. But Batman Beyond was always a premise that I found fascinating. I love how somebody, if it wasn't Bruce Timm himself, came in and said, let's do something different with the Batman universe. Let's find out what Gotham would be like in the future if Bruce Wayne was too old to be Batman. So enter Terry McGinnis. Terry played Batman differently, you know. He was wisecracking and sort of cocky, but that's what made him a different Batman. Because I guess the show was known for doing this sometimes, revealing what happened to certain characters like Mr. Freeze or Bane. So that's cool, but here you got to see like exactly what happened to the original group. I'm talking about Batman, Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, and Tim Drake, Robin. Like, what happened to them? Why is their relationship so strained? Why do most of these people now hate Batman so many years later? And that was some of the stuff, those flashbacks, that just had me glued to the TV. Alright, at number 9 is another animated film. Technically it's 2, but to me they count as 1. The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2. Where I know since they've released this, they re-released this together as one long film, and I wish I had that, but obviously, dumb me, I bought each one as they came out when they did. But anyways, The Dark Knight Returns is based off of a Frank Miller comic book, an older Bruce Wayne again, who has to come out of retirement because these mutants have taken over Gotham and they're just going crazy. So I loved all that, but also seeing the Joker. When the Joker sees that Batman is back, that's when he gets his smile back. That's when he gets almost a second coming to life. And he breaks out of the hospital. And sure, we've seen the Joker be crazy and maniacal and just downright disturbing so many times. But this is right up there as far as the scene when Joker is at the carnival. And he has a gun, and he's just shooting people left and right. Random people. Who knows how many people he killed. But I've never seen Joker so unstoppable, so unpredictable, so scary. And I was amazed that they were able to do that and get away with that. Coming in at number 8, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, where here we have one of the first, if not the first, animated Batman film. I liked that they created this brand new character, the Phantasm, who we knew nothing about, who not only was this identity a mystery, but how he was framing Batman for murders, which the animated show could never do murders, could never kill people because it was a cartoon Saturday morning show. This movie, though, people die. And I also like how they did so much with Batman's origin. Because the animated show would touch on certain things from Bruce's past, but not to this extent. Not seeing how he actually became Batman and how much of his origin was crucial and connected to this love interest, Andrea Beaumont, who I think she's one of the most interesting, if not the most interesting Batman love interest that we've ever had. I really liked her, and I guess you can't complain either that the Joker also makes an appearance. Now at number 7, we finally get into the live action stuff. Batman Returns. And in many ways, making this list, I wish this was higher on the list because that's how much I really like this film. It's one of those movies where I watched so many times as a kid. I loved it. I love Michael Keaton as Batman. I love Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. Sure, I think my love for this is magnified when I see people hate on it. I've seen a lot of hate for this film, mostly because they either don't like Tim Burton's style of Batman, the weird stuff that's in here, and I admit there are some weird stuff in here. Sure, Catwoman being resurrected by cats. It's a little weird, and her having 9 lives, which I don't really mind, the 9 lives thing. I think that's kind of cool. And the Penguin, okay, fine. Danny DeVito is not your traditional Penguin from the comics. But here's a change that I didn't mind. It's a drastic change, I admit. He's disfigured, he eats raw fish, he says all these creepy and just weird things, but I find it amusing. Number 6, The Dark Knight Rises. Surprise, surprise. This is another film that gets a lot of hate, so again, it's what makes me have it so high on the list, because it's one of the most depressing, dark, and almost tragic Batman movies, maybe of all time, of Bane coming into Gotham and breaking Batman's back, which is something that they just had to do. I love Bane in this movie, by the way. I love Tom Hardy's accent. I love how menacing and scary he was able to do while still being entertaining, which is something I wasn't expecting from the character. Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. Wow. I don't know if I could say she's sexier than Michelle Pfeiffer, but she's definitely a pretty cool Catwoman. I love her having the conflictedness of whether to be good or bad. Classic Catwoman, her character. And with all of that depressing elements that are in this movie, I think that's what makes some people not enjoy this as much. I think it's that much more satisfying when you see Bruce Wayne climb out of the pit, make it back to the city, and have that pretty fucking epic battle with Bane and the whole city being at war. Awesome. And come on, how can you not love the Bat? That huge fucking thing flying around. It really doesn't get any better than that. At number 5, back to animated, Batman Under the Red Hood. This might be my favorite Batman animated film of all time. I loved a lot of things about this. And I love how, I know it's based off of the comic book, I'm not hugely familiar with it, but I love how simple the story was. I do feel like they told the story really well. Everything that went on with the Joker killing the second Robin, Jason Todd, who I guess was pretty much a dick in the comics, so people wanted him dead. But seeing this Red Hood character come back, and how that persona is connected to the Joker, and you see that this is Jason Todd, who was resurrected from the Lazarus Pit. I hope I'm not spoiling too much. I'm pretty sure people watching this video has seen it. But I love all that. I love the flashbacks of Batman and Jason Todd being young and being Robin and seeing how full of life he was, to seeing what he is now, how angry he is, how much he hates the Joker and wants to kill him, but also his anger towards Batman. I love at the end the moment where he says to him, look, why is this son of a bitch still alive? Why have you allowed him to continuously kill numerous people, innocent people, but you refuse to kill him? And it's always in opposition. It's always something that, you know, as much as I love Batman, as much as I respect his rule, it is something that you go, can't you just make this one exception? Number 4, Batman Forever. This might be a little bit of a surprise. That's so high on the list, but this, again, is a movie that I grew up on. You couldn't get me away from watching this film. I remember having it on VHS tape and staying up all night to just continuously watch it over and over again. I was obsessed with this movie. I like Val Kilmer as Batman. He's very underrated. I like Chris O'Donnell as Robin, but I almost mentioned Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, and he's the only thing that when I go back and watch this, I go, holy fuck, what is going on with the Two-Face character? Even Nicole Kidman, she's smoking hot in this movie, the hottest I've ever seen her, but her character is pretty badly written. But Jim Carrey as the Riddler clearly steals the show. He has the most quotable lines, the most funny scenes, and his character is interesting as far as Edward Nygma goes, his obsession with Bruce Wayne. There is a lot of interesting things in this film. Sure, Gotham is very different from the Burton films. It's very colorful and flashy, but I didn't mind the change. I thought it was cool that we were able to do different interpretations of Gotham and Batman, even if it's supposed to still be a sequel. I don't know. At number 3, Batman '89. How can I not have this high up on the list? Some people say it's their favorite Batman movie, and I can't really blame them. There's so much going on here. I love Michael Keaton as Batman, like I said before, but this is him at his finest, at his darkest, at his most sort of staying to himself and being closed off from the world. And sure, he's attracted to Vicky Vale, but he won't open up to her, and him dealing with his parents and going to the alley to leave a rose. I like a lot of stuff that goes on with the Bruce Wayne character. But then you have Jack Nicholson's Joker, and I'm sorry, I feel like I'm always saying that the Joker, whenever he's in a Batman movie, he steals the show, because he does. I mean, look at what you can do with the character. He's so fun, he's so boisterous, he's so over the top. The scene when Nicholson and his gang come into the museum and they're playing the Prince song and they're dancing and they're defaming all of the paintings, it's hilarious. The Danny Elfman score alone makes me think classic Batman. At number 2, Batman Begins. In Batman Begins, I think I'm only putting it above the '89 film because this is one of the only Batman movies that is actually about Batman. I'm not saying we've never gotten another Batman movie about Batman, but this really, I've never felt so connected and felt like I've gone through a journey with Bruce Wayne more than I do in this film. I love how we see Christian Bale and he's in prison, and then how he gets recruited by Liam Neeson and gets trained by Ra's al Ghul in the League of Assassins, and we see his growth to becoming Batman, and then his reveal when he comes back to Gotham and he's in the Batman costume. He just looks so badass. Jim Gordon, Gary Oldman, I can't praise enough for playing the best interpretation of Jim Gordon that I've ever seen. Good luck to the next guy who has to play Gordon. Which brings me to my number 1 favorite Batman movie of all time. What a surprise. It's The Dark Knight. Come on, did you really expect anything else? What more can I say about this film that I haven't said already? It's not only my favorite Batman movie, but it's my favorite movie of all time. Whenever I put this movie in, I can sit there and the 2.5 hours will go by so quick. I've never really had that experience with movies this long. Some other films, even movies that I like the Lord of the Rings movies or stuff like that, I can enjoy them, but there are times when I feel the length of it. This movie, not so much. Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent, he's the best Harvey Dent I've ever seen. The whole tragic story of him being from Gotham's White Knight to the villainous Two-Face character. Heath Ledger as the Joker, I can't say enough. I can't have enough praise for this actor, for what he was able to do, how obsessed he was with getting Batman to kill. It's some of the aspects of the movie that I fall in love with every single time I watch. And I won't defend my love for Bale as Batman enough. I love him as Batman. I love the way he plays Bruce Wayne. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, what are some of your favorite Batman movies? What do you think of my list? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!